June 7th will of course be a world title fight as Keyshawn Davis defends his WBO lightweight title against the power puncher Edwin De Los Santos. A very interesting matchup. Of course, people are wondering who's going to win because on paper it is a very close fight. De Los Santos is an amazing fighter, a top lightweight, but there's a lot of talk on it. So who is going to win? Well, that's simple. It's going to be De Los Santos. Why? Well, on the poster it says new champion, new era. So a new champion will be crowned, and he will usher in a new era. Yeah, not the best at the poster department at Top Rank. But besides that, now we know who's going to win. How do we get there? Right? Math class all over again. But besides that, let's get right into it. Edwin De Los Santos is 16-2 with 14 wins by way of knockout. His last loss came at the hands of Shakur Stevenson for the vacant WBC lightweight championship. Now, of course, that was almost a year and a half ago for De Los Santos. He is coming off of an injury to his hand, which may or may not be a good or bad thing. It is a year and a half, so obviously he will be experiencing most likely some type of ring rust. But now with his hand back in tip-top shape, could be better. Maybe the layoff will do him wonders. But besides that, his other loss was a split decision loss to William Foster III, 13-0. Very nice. And of course, the defending champion Keyshawn Davis, the businessman, is 13-0 with 9 wins by way of knockout. Has some power, not as much as De Los Santos, but of course, like they say, it doesn't matter. But besides that, let's get on with the tally system. That's right, we used it a couple times. I do believe we are actually undefeated in that marking, in that system, which is very interesting, which is why I wonder why I don't use it more often. But besides that, let's get right into it. First, obviously, stat, power. First one, let's give the easy ones first. De Los Santos takes power and speed. Keyshawn Davis is not slow, nor does he not have power, but De Los Santos clearly takes those two. Footwork, a bit of a controversial statement, but I will say De Los Santos. Very nice, quick, some pretty nice feet. So 3 points to none for Keyshawn Davis. Now, of course, where does he get points? Simple. Combination work. Combination work, pretty close. Once again, Keyshawn Davis can throw his fair share of combinations, very tough. But De Los Santos takes that too with his speed and his precision too. This dude punches hard and he is pretty accurate. That's another point for De Los Santos. Inactivity. You have to deduct the point to De Los Santos for inactivity. So -1 point, back at 3-0. Durability. Keyshawn Davis takes someone. De Los Santos has been wobbled before. Hurt? No. Wobbled? Yes. He was dropped by Jose Valenzuela in a late replacement fight. So Keyshawn Davis takes durability. IQ goes to Keyshawn Davis with his, obviously, his Olympic pedigree, his Olympic background, and overall experience in the ring. His ring IQ is the better of the two. 3-2 De Los Santos. Now, of course, another one, resume. Now, this one's very, very unique because Keyshawn Davis has the much more diverse set of opponents, obviously being the world champion Dennis Baranchik, which of course people say that people overhyped them due to the fact that he beat a injured Navarrete. Other people will like to beg to differ, but anyways, he was a champion, so he gets some credit. Another one was Gustavo Lemos. Another one, I believed Lemos was going to beat Keyshawn Davis because of what he did to Richardson Hitchens. Now, of course, he came in overweight, a lot overweight. So once again, you have to give him a lot of credit for that. And he stopped him in the second round. Very good work for Keyshawn Davis. Now, of course, you could say that Gustavo Lemos was overly aggressive due to the fact that he was essentially, people would like to say, robbed against Richardson Hitchens. So he would like to keep it away from the judges, which may or may not have helped Keyshawn Davis. But it doesn't matter. He stopped an overweight Lemos. That's an impressive feat. Miguel Medueno, a very good fight. He won all the rounds. He couldn't stop him, but once again, he has power. But it's really no shame that he couldn't stop Medueno, right? Jose Pedraza, he gets no credit for that. Jose Pedraza was beyond wash at that point, even though I picked Pedraza to win. But hindsight's 2020, he was never going to win. And he also beat Anthony Yidget. Some very nice wins. Now, of course, De Los Santos, that's where he struggles in. De Los Santos does not have the most decorative resume, some people might say. Overall, not the best, but his best wins are against the undefeated Luis Acosta, 12-0, KO, second round. Joseph Adorno, which he went to decision with, which, I don't know. you could say that he could have stopped him because of how, I guess you could say, easy he was beating Adorno. But his best win came against Jose Valenzuela as he defeated him in the third round. And of course, Valenzuela, El Rayo, would later on become the 140-pound WBA champion. And not only that, he would also go all 12 rounds with Gary Antoine Russell, who at that time had basically a 100% knockout ratio. So it's very much, De Los Santos has the best win out of the two, but Keyshawn Davis has the more diverse resume, fighting different styles. So it depends, what do you like the most, right? Because Keyshawn Davis has more good wins, while De Los Santos has a better great win, right? But we'll give that point to Keyshawn Davis, 3-3, tied up very easily. And the next one is very simple. I guess you could say the X factor. It's the jab. And this is why I'm going to edge it out to De Los Santos. Because De Los Santos, obviously, is known for his very strong shots. He has a very strong jab. And I think people might have forgotten how strong that jab really is. Literally was hurting Valenzuela with not just the jab, obviously. He was with his quick combination work as well. But that jab was doing a lot of damage. You know how they say, oh, the jab is what works to break someone down? If De Los Santos even keeps his jab at around 75% of what it was before his hand surgery or before the hand injury, I think that might be what gives him the win. I mean, seriously, Keyshawn Davis is an amazing fighter. Both can punch in between each other's shots. So it's basically just playing with fire, both of them. None of them really want to overextend their shots because they can both get clipped. But it's the jab. I think De Los Santos' jab might be better than Keyshawn Davis's. I think that might be, I guess you could say, the X factor. Give him another point for the jab. Now it's 4-3 De Los Santos. I do believe that that's it. That's the score is, to me, is 4-3 De Los Santos. It's a very close fight. Me personally, if it wasn't for the fact of the layoff, I would have 100% backed De Los Santos in this fight, but this is a very close fight. The inactivity, that's more of a what if. We don't know how it will affect De Los Santos, but we know it's going to affect them some way, right? And De Los Santos has upsetted people before, so it's not like, oh, he's going to be intimidated by the moment. Most likely not. And Keyshawn Davis has fought some very good people himself, but he has not fought anyone with the speed or power of De Los Santos. De Los Santos has fought somewhat similar people like Keyshawn Davis, obviously the main one being Stevenson. He's fought people with power before in Valenzuela, and he passed both of them. Now, of course, not with flying colors. Obviously, he was dropped by Rayo, and he was quote-unquote outboxed by Stevenson. He wasn't, right? Stevenson was running. Like, let's get that straight before people were saying he's just using the sweet science of boxing. Boxing is still the art of hitting and not getting hit. He forgot the first part. You know, it's pretty easy to not get hit when you're running around the ring, and whenever De Los Santos closes the distance, you just tie him up. It's just like, oh, wow, I guess. But besides that, give me De Los Santos by 9th round stoppage. Now, of course, I am 0-2 technically of picking Keyshawn Davis to lose. I picked Keyshawn Davis to lose against Pedraza. I also picked him to lose against Libos. I was wrong both times. But this one is less far-fetched. The other ones, I was naive. I thought Pedraza still had something left in him. I forgot that he moved up to 140 a long time ago, and he hasn't been at 135 in a long time. That's something I forgot. Lemos, I overrated him there. I'll admit that. I overrated him a little bit. But besides that, give me Edwin De Los Santos by 9th round stoppage victory, becoming the new champion of the 135-pound division. Can Keyshawn Davis win? Of course he can. It is a 4-3 thing for me, arguably a very close fight. Keyshawn Davis could very much well take advantage of the inactivity of De Los Santos, but I just think that jab is going to get him the win. It's a super strong jab. But besides that, leave your opinion down below. I really love to hear it. This is a very interesting matchup, something I'm really excited for. But besides that, leave it down in the comments below. I love to hear it, and I hope to catch you in the next one.